He ended his engagement because of his feelings for you. This is your second chance.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
Guess we're heading to LA.
Wow, I guess we're heading to LA. Welcome back to the show. Caila Quinn is still hanging out with me, and we're chatting all about The Bachelor. You were laughing during that. Was it like awkward for you? I mean, you know Chris Harrison. Was it like?
I was just honestly picturing, like, what is it like to be one of Chris Harrison's kids? Like, you know, him talking to you as a parent, being like, what are you gonna do? You didn't get good grade. What are you gonna do about it?
That's so, and him like leaning forward, being like, what's the right decision here for you, son?
Exactly.
Do you think that Chris is like the Cupid of The Bachelor? I mean, what is your opinion? Does he want it to work, or does he like the drama?
Oh, Chris is just rooting for every relationship, honestly. I mean, he has a dry sense of humor behind the scenes, and if he picks on you, it's because he likes you and thinks you can take it.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
If he's nagging on you, that means he likes you.
Exactly. So, but it doesn't mean he's not rooting for a relationship. And the thing is, when couples succeed, the franchise succeeds, because they are matchmakers at the end of the day.
That's true.
And that's why we watch, because there's hope for love. So I just love that he's like a dad figure to Madison, was like, you can do it, kid.
He really inserted himself in this episode. Unlike, I mean, we've seen previous seasons where he's kind of come in and helped people, but how involved is he in the day-to-day? Like, does he ever come around and talk to the people and be like, how are you feeling about Sean? Like, does he ever ask?
Not at all. It's so funny, especially when you travel, like after the third episode and the cast starts traveling, he's only there for 20 minutes of the week. So you'll be in like Thailand, and he has basically a week-long vacation and then 20 minutes of a rose ceremony where he does his job.
Maybe he has the best job in television.
He
like,
does.
that seems like an ideal scenario. Does he ever, so is it just like he comes in, he films, and he's out, or does he give advice? Does he dispense advice? And do you, as a contestant, would you go to him for advice?
No, you would never really, like, that's why you asked me if I have Chris Harrison's cell phone number.
Right.
I do not. He's not, we're not in contact. We don't DM. He basically just magically appears like a fairy godfather and then magically disappears. And you just don't know when he's gonna show up. And there is kind of a mystique in that. And that's why the controlled environment works, because you really just reflect in your own heart and you're not influenced by anyone else. So he does ask you things, but only on camera.
Interesting. All right, I got to get back to the show. We were talking about Madison's second chance with Peter. Do you actually think Madison is really in love with Peter? I mean, she left him twice.
I know. I mean, you have a lot of those relationships. I'm sure you've dated people before where you know,
you waffle.
love them, you know, you break up, you miss them, you break up. And I think that foundationally there isn't a lot that aligns between the two of them. So I don't know if it's forever, but I think they're trying to give it a chance.
But how, like, okay, if we were, you know, gal pals on the street not talking Bachelor, if I said to you, me and my girlfriend had broken up, got back together, broken up, you'd probably think it's fairly toxic a relationship, right? You wouldn't, I don't think you would support that.
No.
So why do we support Madison and Peter?
I think we're all rooting for Madison.
I know.
Because at this point, we've all given up on Peter.
Yeah, no one's rooting for Peter.
I
That's the
know.
thing. It's like, we don't even care that it's your season. Like, we just want Madison.
To find love. We want her to find love.
So you don't think that their relationship is toxic? Like, do you want to see them end up together, or do you think that Madison can do better than Peter?
I think Madison can do better than Peter, but I don't think the relationship is toxic. I don't think they're a good match, but I think they're still, you know, I think he isn't really looking for marriage, because if he was, he would know those foundational things aren't there for them.
Well, there's more to get into, because one person who was not happy about their reconciliation was Barb, who arguably was the MVP of this whole thing. She was not afraid to let her opinions be known again. Let's take a look.
One only gave his heart to him, and that was Hannah Ann. So to me, of course, my love went to Hannah Ann.
This isn't just Peter choosing me, this is me choosing Peter. And
Chris, he's gonna have to fail to succeed. That's it.
Okay, a lot to break down here. Let's just start backwards. Fail to succeed. I mean, come on, that's a pretty nasty comment to hear, especially for Madison to hear, but also for Peter to hear his mom to say, right?
It's truly, like, I'm not a mom, but you need to support your children and say, I believe in your heart and any of your decisions.
Right.
Even in your mind, if you think he's gonna fail, just don't say it.
Well, and also, and granted, we both aren't parents, so we're not trying to tell you how you should parent, but for me, if my parents were like, don't do this, that would make me go rush and do this. Like it would make me want to prove them wrong, right?
Totally.
We've never seen, at least to my knowledge, parents interact so heavily in their child's relationship before. What did you think about that? I mean, did you think that Peter needed to stand up against his parents more? Or do you think that like Barb and Peter Sr. kind of have a right because he lives at home, they're there for it, they were sort of there for their first date? What's your take on it?
Well, I think he didn't stand up to them because he isn't really sure about his relationship with Madison. If he was in love with her, he would have stood up to his mom because she's a big personality and it seems like she raised him to be, you know, that much of a personality. But I don't know, Barb, people say it's her culture because she's from Cuba. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And she's very opinionated and will let it be known, but she did overstep her bounds.
A wee bit.
Yes.
Just a touch.
And it was refreshing, though, to see that much of like an opinionated parent on The Bachelor. Because you're right, we've never seen that before.
Not as
and
much,
behind closed doors, that is what real conversations with parents look like.
What did you think, how do you think Madison's parents reacted to that whole thing?
Oh, her dad probably is freaking out. Madison's dad is
pissed?
her biggest fan. And I kind of sympathize with Madison's dad because that's, you know, the relationship I have with my own parent. And I would love to see that interaction with both the parents talking.
I wanted them to do like a side-by-side.
Right.
And because I was like, where's Madison's parents in this whole thing? I'm sure that they have opinions. She obviously is very strong-willed, but I was like just so curious about that. Do you think that Peter, after seeing how more his mother than his father, I would say, react to this, do you think that he's trying to double down and prove that he really loves Madison and all of this was worth it? Or do you think that he really does genuinely love her and wants to be with her?
I think the former, for sure. He's just trying to prove that Madison's the one just because his mother says no. I'm with you.
You're so over Peter, Caila. I love it. Like, no one roots for him. I know.
It's sad.
I've never seen, like, I think everyone loved Peter at the start and now feel really, really conflicted about him. And I think everyone loved Barb at the start and now they hate her.
That is so true.
Like, I can't imagine what her DM, I know that she said she got DMs. I was like, Barb's getting DMs? What's happening?
But at the same time, we never really found out who the true Peter was because we're hearing all these things at the end, like Peter's a partier.
Right.
He goes out and drinks. Like, he loves to be very social. Where is this Peter?
We never saw any of that.
We never saw his friends. Like,
we never saw anything. In fact, someone actually DM'd a friend of mine and said that they dated Peter in high school.
Oh, really?
And that the mom broke them up and she has never felt more vindicated than this moment. And I gotta say, it's pretty great. Like, if your mother is controlling the relationship that you're in, you gotta separate. You got to take some space in between you guys. I mean, if you're the party boy animal that we all apparently now figure out you're doing outside of being a pilot, it was like he was a pilot for the first 10 episodes and then a party boy for the last 2. We never saw the storyline play out.
I agree. And you know, the funny thing is about Barb, she doesn't have any daughters. And so when you have daughters, you know how to be more sensitive, but she has never had to filter herself around her sons. And it clearly wasn't going to start on tonight's episode.
And she did not care that the audience was booing her. She did not care at all. Do you think there is a world, though, where Peter's mom would accept Madison?
No.
Whoa! What about Madison accepting Barb?
Madison accepting Barb, no, as well.
You think she'll fake it? If they end up together, you think that she'd fake, like, liking her?
I think Madison, well, honestly, Madison to me was a little bit in the wrong. She should have apologized on air to Barb and said, you know, I'm so sorry we were 3 hours late. It was out of my control. If it was up to me, I would have met you right away. Because parents just want a little, like, respect.
Yeah.
And they want to see their future child-in-law or whatever to be humble. And Madison was not giving us any piece of humble pie.
If Madison and Peter end up together, what would be the demise of the relationship? Barb or their religion?
Religion, for sure. And that's where it is for me, because Peter says he can change, but I mean...
We don't know. We don't know.
That has to come from within your own heart. It's not because somebody else chose it for you.
Amen. Well, not only were we introduced to a potentially new couple, we also met again the new Bachelorette, Claire Crawley. Let's watch.
You can still back out.
I signed up for what is it, 4 times before?
Exactly.
What's one more time?
One thing I've always adored about you and respected is you've never given up on love.
I never will give up for it.
So what are your thoughts on the new Bachelorette? Are you a Claire stan? Do you like her? And how do you think the age is going to play into it, if at all?
I mean, after seeing Claire last night, I am more of a Claire fan. I have watched all 4 seasons she's been on in the past.
She's a little Nick Viall right there, right?
Starting from Juan Pablo. And that's the exact same thing. You know, Nick Viall was not my favorite Bachelor. And I don't want to say there's a reason, but maybe it takes a long time to find your partner. But I just hope, I'm rooting for her, but my initial instincts are a little weary.
And why didn't you like Nick as a Bachelor?
I mean, I've met him a couple times, and I just don't know if he's as giving as a partner.
Got it.
We're very compromising.
Do you think that Claire will be, how much do you think is age going to play into this? I mean, are we happy that she's 38, or do we think it's always going to be brought up and just like we're going to be drowned out by the fact that she's 38?
Oh, that's definitely going to be a topic.
Yeah.
Just like,
you know how to produce.
Like we're really going to drag that out a lot, but I think it is a good thing because she is a more experienced woman, and hopefully the men will step up to that. But at the same time, I do think that it'll be an issue because a lot of the guys probably won't know what they want.
I mean, and we pulled back from the vault to pick Claire. You know, Juan Pablo hasn't been on for a few years. There's been a few years in between. Were you hoping that anyone from this season, Peter's season, was going to be Bachelorette? And if so, who?
I wasn't really sure who. Maybe I actually loved Madison.
I know. I thought that was me too. I was like,
I mean, she was too close to the end though, because you really do need your heart to heal before you become that lead. For example, we saw Peter. He wasn't over his over Hannah and brought that into this next season. So I think they're realizing that, you know, the leads are humans too, and they need to heal first.
Yeah, I mean, and they're all human beings. I mean, that's the thing. It's so weird talking about people like entities, but they're not.
Right.
Question though for you, who do you want to see the most on Paradise?
Oh, I mean, now I think I want to. Victoria F.
Oh, Victoria F. She's ripe for Paradise. Like, they didn't even want her winning because they were like, she's got to go to Paradise.
I'm just curious who she's going to be attracted to and if she's going to be attracted to them the whole time. Because she's going to be like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like,
yeah.
Can we really talk through this? Or just some of her lines are so hilarious. So I would be interested to see if someone is ready to jump in.
Maybe Mike will be good for her. Maybe he'll calm her down. He's a big guy. He's got a good demeanor. He's got the best smile.
He does.
We'll see. I'm so excited for it. Caila, thank you so much for chatting with me. You've been amazing to talk to. You look great in purple. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.